Blichmann has just released the pricing on the Breweasy compact system. I wanted to share with you all the details that I know and everything about the system, as well as do a little bit of a comparison, kind of a high-level overview of the other systems that are in this space. Let's jump into taking a look at what the pricing and everything is, and I'll give you some details. So let's take a look here. All right, so here's the Breweasy compact page, and I'll have a link down in the description for the page as well as the other videos that I've done on the Breweasy compact if you have any questions about that. So let's take a look. Let's take a look first at the NPT version. And the system is not available without a controller, so you would have to buy a controller with it, currently anyways. So the 120 volt system just by itself with the 120 volt brew commander, the boil coil and all that stuff is coming in at $926. So the one other thing that I did find out is that if you want to buy a kettle and you don't need a pump and all that kind of stuff, but you do want to do the Whirlpool, it will not have a Whirlpool port in it unless you do the Whirlpool valve kit. So the Whirlpool valve kit not only includes the Whirlpool valve and the tubing and all that stuff, but it will also include either the port punched in the kettle for this style that I'm showing here, or the tri-clamp version that we'll get to here in just a second. So fully outfitted, without a pump, without any of the other things that go along with the, like the flow meter and the return tube hoses and all that stuff. If you already have hoses and everything, you're fine. Is $997. That's kind of like the base entry price with the Whirlpool. If you don't want the Whirlpool, then it's $926. So let's take a look at the same similar system, but in the tri-clamp version. And let's go with the 120 volt. Now that is $975, so there's a little bit of a bump in price, not a whole lot. A little bit of a bump in the price on the Whirlpool as well because they got to weld on that tri-clamp ferrule. But so we're looking at $1,053 in the 120 volt version. Now if you add the Riptide pump and the flow valve and all that kind of stuff, basically as it's shown here on the screen, that's going to be $1,379. So pretty decent pricing really. Now that's without a chiller, so if you add a chiller to it, they have the tri-clamp cooling and transfer kit, the Terminator. So that is $347, and that would bring it up to $1,726. Looks like they also have an immersion chiller available, so if you want to do the bare bones minimum, we're looking at $1,455 for the 120 volt version of the system. So let's jump over to the 240 volt system, and let me show you what the system costs that they sent me for review, and we'll kind of discuss that as well. Again, remember, if you order the system and you don't order the Whirlpool, you will not have a port either in the NPT or the tri-clamp version. So let's go with the 240 volt. We've got the tri-clamp recirculation kit, and then let's go with the Terminator. That puts us up to $1,831 for the system, and that is competitive, I think. But let's take a look at some of the competition out there and see where they are in comparison to them. So I'm going to take the chiller off of there just because of the fact that I already have a chiller that I would probably use, and I know a lot of you may have one out there. And a lot of the other systems that I'm going to show, they have the chiller, but you know, some of them do, some of them don't, include it in the price. So let's take a look at the Spike Solo system first. And the 120 volt system, if we don't do a wart chiller and we don't do a pump, then we are at $1,525. Now that's the controller, the kettle, the basket, everything. Now, I believe it has a Whirlpool port that's already built into it, so that is something that comes with it, stock standard. If we add a pump to it, then that brings it up to $1,750. And then if we add their chiller to it, and this is the 120 volt system, that brings it up to $2,125. And let's take a look at the 10 gallon 240 volt system. And looks like it does not change the price at all. It's the same price with standard fittings or the tri-clamp fittings. So that's kind of interesting to me. I figured it would have been a little bit cheaper maybe for the stock standard fittings. But the price is $2,125 on that. All right, let's hop over and take a look at the Clawhammer supply system. And it's pretty much a complete system. I've done a review on it and everything. It comes with the chiller, the controller, the whole 9 yards. And the pricing on it out the door is $1,649. So let's jump back over here to this and take a look with the Whirlpool and the recirculation and all that stuff. 240 volts without a chiller is $1,484. Now if we add the Terminator chiller on there, which kind of mirrors what their system is, the Breweasy system is a couple $100 more. So that's what we're looking at there. And then finally, let's take a look at the Unibrow system, which is another system that's in the space that it mirrors what that is. So they have several different options. The 120 volt 10 gallon version with the standard, everything standard, is $11.99. And what that comes with, according to the description on the website here, the 240 volt 10 gallon 20 gallon standard system comes with the easy boil controller, 5500 watt element, BR19 pump, the standard fitting kit, and then the stainless steel plate chiller. So there's also some hoses and things. So that's the base price on that. Now, if you want the tri-clamp with the butterfly valves and all that stuff, you have to step up to the premium system, and that is $1,865. And that does include it's a counterflow stainless steel chiller, which is a pretty good deal, really. $1,865 for that. You can customize in the system and take things off, add things to the system if you want to. There's a link here to click and customize the system. I tried to kind of do it for the video, but there's a lot of different steps and everything I'd have to go through for it. But just suffice to say, how it comes stock standard from Unibrow is $1,865. And in comparison, we're $1,831 on the Breweasy Compact. So we're right there in the price range with everything, and that's with the chiller included. So, that's a brief overview of the pricing. There also is pricing on here for the gas system, so you can get it with a brew commander and a Hellfire burner along with the spark box. So basically that's a device that will ignite the gas or propane coming out of the Hellfire burner. And that system with everything tri-clamp with the Whirlpool kit and everything is $2,024. And with just the burner with no controller or anything like that to control temperature, you're looking at $1,559. So like I said, I'll leave a link down below for the Breweasy Compact page, as well as links to my other videos and everything. If you are really interested in having me do a more thorough, in-depth comparison, because these systems do vary a little bit and there are some pros and cons to each one of the systems, I'd be happy to do that. Let me know in the comments down below if you want more of a deep dive video into a comparison of all these systems. But I certainly do appreciate it. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Thanks again. This has been Brian for Short Circuited Brewers. We'll see you on the next video.